Okay, let's start putting this back together. So what have I done so far? I've cleaned off this surface of both rust and the old gasket. I've cleaned the old gasket off of this and the silicone. I've cleaned inside this area here, cleaned the splines. I have also cleaned the drum, the brake drum. I've also just lightly sanded the inside in a circular motion, just to get rid of a few high spots. The diameter of this is still well within spec, so if I remember correctly, you can have a maximum of 97mm diameter. This one's at 95.5 or something like that, so we still got plenty left. So just a matter, so you can either put a little tiny bit of anti-seize on here, or you can leave it like this. It did come off pretty easily without it sticking, but you can also do just a tiny bit. You don't want to do a lot, because if any of the grease comes out and is in between the brake shoe and the brake drum, you won't have any braking action. Also, don't forget to check the condition of the seal inside here. Make sure that is also all nice and sealing. This one is, it's all nice and dry. There was no oil evidence, so not touching that. Just a little bit. There we go. Not much. Just smear it all over the splines, and that's it. Let's put the drum on. Obviously, make sure that you got the drum facing the right way. Make sure it goes all the way in, and so that you have the groove to put the circlip on. You can see the groove just about right there. Alright, let's see. As I say, oh, that was actually a lot easier than taking it off. Now, to check that it is on, you can grab your circlip pliers and locate one and turn it around. Make sure it turns freely. Which one? This one, not too freely, but free enough, and it does. You can check that it's not going anywhere. That part is done. That was nice and easy. So I was not looking forward really to struggling too much. Alright. Now it comes to the brakes. I see that this brake is slightly applied, so that's going to be a little bit difficult to mount. So what I should have actually also done in the beginning was to remove the pin and remove the rod sticking into the pedal locating pin. So I'm going to do that now, because as it is now, it's going to be a little bit difficult to get the brake assembly back into here, as well as lining this up. So let's see. Alright. Let's see. It seems I have actually found the cause of my braking issue, and why I'm not getting any braking performance from this left-hand brake. It was, I guess, nothing to do with the pads after all, but the lever actuating the brakes is stuck. So, I've got something else to pull apart first before we can reassemble this. As you can see, I've put together the brake shoe assembly on this side. Still need to fit it. I have made my own gasket, because this side the gasket was all torn up and all of that. So I did make my own one. Something went wrong a little bit with the measurement of the holes, so they are a little bit elongated, but they should still seal. I also have some gasket silicone that I will put on both sides to seal any imperfections in the metal, so that should seal without a problem. And then, if you're wondering, this is a 1mm thickness paper gasket that I made it from. The old gasket is like this, but it's a little bit thinner. But I expect this one to compress inwards a bit. It does have a bit of spraying action, so we'll do that. The gasket for the other side is mostly still intact, so all I'll do there is just put some silicone around it, and that should seal without a problem. Now, the sealant I am using is Moto Seal. It's also fuel resistant, not that any fuel should come here, but it stays tacky or flexible for a long period. It doesn't completely dry out like a normal silicone, but it does seal nicely. So we'll use that. I do have normal silicone if I find this not adequate, but we'll see how we get on. And we can put the assembly back together. I'll just make sure that everything fits before I start sealing it off, and then coming to the realization that it doesn't fit. Okay, that does fit. Alright, let's get started. Having a look at the torque specifications of the Kubota tractor, they have markings, numbers on the bolts. If there's a 7, it's a special bolt with a different torque value, and if there's a 9, it's a special bolt with another torque value. These bolts that hold this on, they do not have a stamp number. As such, they are just standard bolts, and size M8, they have a torque value of between 17.6 to 20.6 Newton meters. Here is the torque list, specifications, and that's what we're going to use. So I'll get the torque wrench, and we'll do it at 20 Newton meters. That is torqued. Now we can connect the rod, screw in the rod. Once the rod is connected, you can tighten the securing nut at the union. I forgot I had replaced the nuts. The old nuts were also rusty, And the new nuts have a size 13, whereas the old nuts were a size 12. Alright. Now we've got the spring. Alright, so the trick to putting in the spring is you have to back off the adjuster at the front, then put the spring in place, then you can put in the front hook into the brake pedal, and then check the adjustment and the free play. So at the moment I've got the tractor up in the air, the wheels can spin freely. And I can hear a slight bit of touching. Happening with this wheel here, so the way I've got it, although it spins freely, I can hear it's just slightly touching, so we've got to adjust that so that the play, so that you don't really hear it, because also I operate the brake, it stops straight away. Minimal pedal input, so we need to increase that play by using the turnbuckle adjustment nut underneath, which I'll show later on. With the other side it's easier to show, hopefully. It's a little bit tight here on the left. Alright, but in any case, that is the idea. Once I get my springs for the other side, that will be the same process. For now, once I got this adjusted, I can put back the orange cover, and then the left side is done, hopefully. So, I'll go do that. Alright, now to put the guard on, I have tightened up the wheel, as that was quite a bit wobbly. Shouldn't be wobbling all like that. Now we've got just the guard, but I'm thinking the guard might give us a little bit of a struggle, because here and there a few pieces are bent, and there was a bit of tension on it once I removed it. Hopefully it doesn't go with too much drama, but again, it will be a little bit challenging, seeing as we got the wheel in the way. Without the wheel, this would be a lot easier, but I challenged myself to putting this all back together, taking apart back together with the wheel in place, so that's what we're going to do. Now we've got a bolt. Here's a bolt. Let's start off with the lower one. One guard down took half an hour. Hopefully that is quicker on the other side.